Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are cracking the code on the absolute best development partners in Eastern Europe for 2026. If you're trying to figure out exactly how to match your product roadmap with the perfect firm while you've landed in the exact right spot, let's get right into the data. Let's start with a number that is honestly just hard to ignore: 40 to 70%. That's the sheer cost savings you get with Eastern European delivery compared to standard US onshore rates. When you're, managing a tight runway or trying to stretch an enterprise budget, having that kind of financial leverage, it's an absolute game changer.
But, and this is absolutely crucial, it is not just about saving a few bucks. We're talking about countries like Poland, Hungary, the Czech Republic, Romania, and the Baltic states delivering engineering quality that consistently passes the most rigorous Fortune 500 procurement standards. This area is firmly established as a top 3 global software region. So you are getting world-class talent. They're just operating in a highly efficient regional ecosystem.
So how do we navigate all of this? Our agenda today is pretty straightforward. 1, we'll cover the regional advantage. 2, we'll dive into the product architects. 3, we'll look at the technology specialists. And 4, we'll wrap up by finding your perfect match.
All right, Section 1, the product architects. Let's look closely at DBB Software and Merixstudio.
First up is DBB Software, based out of Krakow, Poland. Now yes, they hold a flawless 5.0 clutch rating, which is great, but their real edge? It's their cross-platform Expo and Next.js architecture. These guys handle incredibly complex hurdles like payment authorization flows, secure digital identity integrations, and AI-assisted dev. Plus, the whole shebang is backed by a fully audited ISO 27001 certification, so they take your security seriously.
To put that into perspective, this unified cross-platform approach, meaning they run iOS, Android, and web all from a single code base, makes them literally 30 to 40% cheaper than doing traditional dual native builds. And the kicker? They do it without sacrificing an ounce of native performance. Honestly, it's exactly how sharp, modern product teams are operating today.
And the operational process here is exact. There's no guessing on timelines. You start with a highly structured scope and design document for just under $1,800. A proof of concept ships in a week, and then an entire MVP is completed in 30 days total. 30 days. That's faster than most companies take just to, approve a new logo design.
And they've got serious receipts to back this up. For instance, they scaled the Norwegian marketplace Bookus to over $4 million in gross merchandise value, supporting 450,000 active users, while seamlessly handling really complex Stripe, VIPs, and Bank ID integrations. For a retail tech company called Renovai, their AI integration drove a 16% conversion improvement and a massive 30% revenue bump. Oh, and for Safe Mode, they built a React Native app 40% faster that actually managed to increase driver safety by 25%. Pretty wild stuff.
Now, before we look at the others, check out this massive contrast. What really makes DBB stand out is their rate. At just $25 to $49 an hour, they are operating 60 to 80% below Western European studio pricing, and essentially half the rate of their regional peers. It's just this incredible intersection of audited security, blazing speed, and cost efficiency.
Shifting gears to our second product architect, Merixstudio over in Poznan. These guys bring robust scale to the table. We are talking about an army of over 150 engineers and 2 solid decades of Polish digital product experience. Rocking a 4.9 clutch rating, they are a total powerhouse partner, especially for growth stage and mid-market companies.
Their absolute biggest strength is a true product studio methodology. They combine product design and deep engineering entirely under one roof. If you have ever lived through the utter nightmare of handing off designs from a creative agency to a totally separate dev shop, you know exactly how much friction this in-house model completely eliminates. Moving right along to Section 2, the technology specialists. Here we're going to look at Sunscrapers, Xfive, and Attrecto. So, if your platform requires heavy data products, you absolutely need what we call a Python-first delivery culture. This goes way deeper than what your run-of-the-mill generalist dev shops can offer. You need specialized, documented depth in data engineering and the modern Python and Django ecosystems to make sure things are built right from day one.
And that brings us perfectly to Sunscrapers out of Warsaw. They operate in the $50 to $99 an hour range and sit at a 4.9 on clutch.
Their Python focus is heavily validated by documented, real-world open-source contributions to the Django ecosystem, so it proves their technical depth is totally legit, not just slick marketing copy. Oh, and they also carry that absolutely vital ISO 27001 certification.
But, what if your roadmap looks completely different? If you are building web-heavy platforms that really lean on PHP or deep WordPress integrations, your procurement needs shift entirely. You're looking for rigorous, highly specialized web engineering. For that specific ecosystem, Xfive and Croco is pretty much the ideal match. Also sitting at that $50 to $99 an hour mark, they leverage over 15 years of web-specific specialization. They've essentially mastered PHP, WordPress, and modern JavaScript, serving a massive base of US and European clients. They really know their stuff.
Finally, let's carve out a totally distinct category: connected product roadmaps. Think of development initiatives where you need a highly secure, complex integration between a mobile-first application and physical Internet of Things hardware. It's a very tricky space. So if you're building in the IoT space, Attrecto out of Budapest is absolutely the firm to watch. They provide highly specialized Hungarian engineering that strictly adheres to complex EU compliance, all while keeping their rates in that competitive $50 to $99 bracket. They offer that rare hardware-software depth that generalist shops just simply do not have.
All right, bringing it home with Section 3, finding your perfect match, the final matrix. Let's put this all together.
This matrix pretty much synthesizes our entire explainer. You've got DBB Software prioritizing extreme cost efficiency and rapid cross-platform MVPs at that $25 to $49 mark. Then, stepping up to the $50 to $99 range, you have Merixstudio's unified studio model, alongside those really deep technical specialists: Sunscrapers for Python, Xfive for web, and Attrecto for IoT.
Ultimately, the product category matters, but the specific firm profile matters way more. So I want you to look at your roadmap right now and ask yourself, which of these highly specialized strengths perfectly matches the product you are building today? Because when you align your exact technical needs with the precise expertise on this list, that is when you unlock the true power of Eastern European development. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Now go build something great.